Welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I am joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck, and we are going over all the games from Week 12, which, again, 3/4 of the way there. I don't know. 18 weeks of the season. I don't know when what is anymore. It was so much easier when it was 16.
What do you mean? We're 2/3 of the way there, then.
Oh, yeah. Why did I? Oh, right, because 12 used to be 3/4 for 16 games, but now there's 18 weeks. So now it's a little...
Even though Week 18 is a fake week, it's really 17. Week 18 is like half the games don't matter. You know,
just wait till there's 18 games in 20 weeks for the buys.
Oh my God, 2 bye weeks. Oh my God,
it's gonna be a mess. Anyway,
that's not worth having President's Day the day after the Super Bowl. All that is not worth having the day off the next day.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
Is it gonna be a day off for the three of us? No.
Well, them's the breaks. It's gonna be pretty cool. All right, we're gonna get through all the games, but first, we're gonna take a quick break. This episode is presented by Chime. Bank smarter this season. Fantasy football is all about strategy. Well, here's a winning strategy for your money. Trade banking fees for fee-free banking, 1.5% cash back, getting paid when you say, and a higher APY on your savings. That's the lineup that wins. Stop banking the old way. Bank smarter through Chime. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and the secured Chime Visa credit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. Details at chime.com/fees info. With a qualifying direct deposit, earn 1.5% cash back on eligible secured Chime Visa credit card purchases. APY means annual percentage yield. Learn more at chime.com. All right, we're going to get into all the games. I want to start with the game of the year, really.
Yeah.
And the rare chance to see Patrick Mahomes play in the early window here at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific.
That's a great call.
It never happens.
Never happens.
Yeah. Thursday, Monday, Sunday, Sunday night, Sunday afternoon.
It's disrespectful to put him among 7 or 8 other games.
Amongst the plebs.
Probably the best indication, actually, of how surprising this Colts run is. So the Indianapolis Colts, the 8-2 Indianapolis Colts, are at the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 5-5, which even that is funny. And honestly, that right there kind of sums it up, because if I had told you, DK, so we're recording this Thursday, November 20th. I believe this game is the 23rd. I believe exactly a year ago, I believe November 22nd, Daniel Jones was released by the New York Giants. I could have my timing
weird.
A little off.
Yeah.
DK, if I had told you 1 year later that not only would Daniel Jones be at the forefront of the most surprising and one of the most dominant teams in the NFL, but that actually it would feel like the Kansas City Chiefs season hangs in the balance about whether they could beat the almighty Daniel Jones Colts-led offense. What would you have said?
I mean, this is the type of thing you just can't make up. Like, there's no way that we could have foreseen this. Even during the preseason, I feels like the Colts didn't even really know if Daniel Jones was going to be their starter. It felt like the beat reporters were saying it was going to be Anthony Richardson. I thought it was going to be Anthony Richardson. So this is weird, obviously. And the Chiefs being 5-5, that's obviously surprising. I still think they're a good team, but their backs are against the wall at this point. They really have to just win out. Where
are we on the spectrum of DK being like they're good and Craig being like they're the best team in the NFL? Like, where are we on the Kansas City
I don't think
Chiefs?
they're the best team in the NFL.
I think last week soured a lot of people because it was coming off of a bye week going into a fraudulent, what people would say was a Denver team that maybe people didn't believe in. Denver this year is like what the Chiefs were doing last year. They're just like pulling these single score games out of their ass every week. And they went in and lost, and they didn't look good.
Bo.
Yeah, Boone Rally Bo got a hold of Mahomes. And so I think until then, everybody was still like, oh, the Chiefs are fine. Oh, yeah, they lost to Josh Allen, but like, that's fine. That happened. They always lose to Josh Allen and they win the regular season. Then they go into the bye week. Then they come back and they lose to Bo Nix on the road. And I think now people are like, oh, you know what? All the metrics that say they're not that good, I'm starting to believe them. It's a really interesting matchup because this is kind of like the Colts metrically are like a historical team in the 21st century. The Chiefs right now do not look like that. And yet it's a great battle of what do you believe versus like, what does the data actually tell you? Because like the Chiefs cannot run the ball. Mahomes cannot throw the ball downfield. Meanwhile, you're going up against the Colts who can run the ball. Daniel Jones has been great. They're awesome in play action. Points per drive is through the roof. This is like the ultimate, what does my heart tell me versus what does my brain tell me game.
Also throwing a wrench in this whole thing. this is live and breaking. Daniel Jones was added to the injury report today with a calf injury.
Oh,
sounds like according to Ian Rappaport, it just sounds like the Colts are being cautious with this.
That's weird though, coming out of the bye.
Well, it's like he aggravated something in practice yesterday.
I don't love that. God, the calf, dude. Something's up. There's a whole... The NBA reporters are talking about how every NBA player has a fucking calf injury now.
Anthony Richardson is on injured reserve with his broken face. Who's the Colts' third string?
It's Riley Leonard, right?
Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame. Wow.
Let's double check that, but yeah.
Riley Leonard, who couldn't really even move the ball when they were the second best team in college football. Kind of had to... Honestly, it fits because he really is so Daniel Jones-like.
He is. He really is.
Yeah, he's a mobile quarterback. They'll run him a lot.
Talk about boot and rally. Didn't he throw up in the college? Didn't he have that drive where he carried the ball 8 times in the opening drive versus Ohio State and threw up and then didn't move the ball? Oh, my God.
That was the Jackson Dart special. Just run the quarterback every play.
Boot minus the rally. So just to recap here, Craig, whoever just said that, find out more about Daniel Jones' calf. But the Chiefs...
DK, get on that.
Yeah, get on that, DK.
All I'm seeing is it's cautionary at this moment. So he'll probably still play, but yeah.
This is an interesting game also because this is... So Shane Steichen's head coach of the Colts. I believe Shane Steichen has not faced the Chiefs or Steve Spagnuolo since the Super Bowl where the Chiefs won 38-35, but the Eagles put up 35 points on the Chiefs in that game. They haven't really seen... Steichen hasn't seen Kansas City since, but it's an interesting moment now because I think, the Chiefs defense was playing well, but then the last 2 weeks versus Buffalo and Denver, it wasn't that impressive. Chris Jones, after the game, the defensive tackle for the Chiefs, was talking about how he felt that Spagnuolo's calls were predictable, that Bo Nix was calling stuff out at the line. Part of me is like, is that predictable? Is that Sean Payton, who's 60 years old and has known Andy Reid a long time, is kind of like telling him in the headset something? I don't know. But to your point about Mahomes, Craig, I go both ways. And I'm curious what you think about this, DK, because on one hand, he had the lowest completion percentage of his career versus Buffalo. He's pressured on half his snaps. On the other hand, Josh Simmons is back with the team. I don't know if he's necessarily going to play this week, but Josh Simmons, the left tackle, is back after an extended personal break. But the Denver defense, DK, what do you make of Mahomes being, I couldn't believe this one, 1 for 9 throwing 15 yards downfield versus Denver. But with Patrick Surtain, the defensive player of the year, was not playing in the game.
Yeah, this has been a problem with Mahomes. It's very strange because earlier on in his career, he was one of the more dangerous deep ball throwers like that, especially that season where he threw 50 plus touchdowns. He's just so deadly down the field. Ian Hartitz did, I believe Ian Hartitz did a breakdown of his deep shots. And it's basically just a mixture of Mahomes missed Xavier Worthy a couple of times. Xavier Worthy hasn't gone to the right place a couple of times. And I think right now, and Mahomes even said this, basically teams are daring them to beat man coverage. They're very good. The Chiefs are very good against zone. Rashee Rice, very good against zone. Travis Kelce, very good against zone. But basically teams are saying, hey, we're going to line up against you and play man. And if you can't beat us, that's going to be why you lose. And Mahomes has basically even said in a presser, it was and we just got to prove that we can do it, which they don't have very many man beating receivers. That's not necessarily Xavier Worthy's forte either.
The Broncos are well suited to play man coverage. The Colts, now with Sauce Gardner off a bye, maybe well suited too. The Colts don't have DeForest Buckner in this game, which I think is a huge issue for them.
Yeah, he's on IR.
I think teams are also happy to put more players in coverage versus the Chiefs. And we talked about this more with the too high stuff and what's happening. It's they're really just putting more pass defenders on and allowing you to run. But Andy Reid's been hesitant to call a lot of runs too, which has also been a thing where it's a lot of coaches are all right, if you give us light boxes, we'll run the ball. And the Chiefs, Andy Reid hasn't been willing to do that. So this will be a fun game. But probably significantly less fun if Daniel Jones can't play.
I saw a report from Stephen Holder, who knows the team really well. He says, as of right now, I'm not sensing any reason for alarm on Daniel Jones. There's obviously a lot of scrutiny on injury reports right now, so teams are just trying to be fully transparent.
I was just going to say that. I think that is all. I've noticed that too the last couple of weeks in particular since the NBA stuff happened, where a good example is Christian Watson, where he's being listed as questionable each Wednesday because he's going to play, but he's a limited participant because he has a snap count off his ACL recovery where he's only doing 80 or 90, they're holding him out of whenever every 10 reps or something. But that is technically limited. That is limiting his participation, but he's going to play.
Yeah.
So everyone's being a little more, especially because the Ravens, I think the NFL got really mad that the Ravens fucked around with their injury report 24 hours after the NBA stuff. And the NFL was come on guys, what are you doing?
DK, a second ago, you mentioned that Xavier Worthy is not exactly great at beating man. What is Xavier Worthy good at?
I think he's good at what Rashee Rice is good at. But Rashee Rice is better at that than him. Does that make sense?
Which is
beating zone,
running
run
crossers.
after the catch, crossers, running away from defenders and trailing coverage or whatever. And this is how I felt about him coming out of college. I thought he's not very good on deep balls. He doesn't have the physicality or size to win contested catch situations. I don't know if he's necessarily as fast as he ran in the 40 in terms of like his ability to get deep. Tyquan Thornton is their best deep ball receiver. And so and this is actually what I saw on his tape at Texas is like, he's really good at screenplays, at little crossers over the middle, get him in space, run after the catch. And that's exactly what Rashee Rice does for them. So he's almost like a little bit redundant.
Well, and what Rashee Rice has is physicality.
Right.
Rashee Rice on a screen pass can swipe past a couple arm tackles and get the first down, can body through somebody over the middle. Xavier Worthy, I don't feel good about that at all. We haven't talked about him a ton this year, but I mean, he's a guy who probably should be on the burn list, in the burn book, right?
Yeah.
Or at the very least, he's like on our watch list.
I think we burned him.
Did we burn him?
I made the case because I was really mad at him because he got hurt in the third snap of the season.
Oh, you wanted to, and I think we convinced you out of it because he got hurt and he can't do it for an injury, right? Well, but yeah, it's like since he's come back, he's been unplayable in fantasy, basically. Like next year, if someone wants to make the case for Worthy, he will be the ultimate buy low, and you could probably get him for free because he's like gets you 6 points a game in fantasy for the last 2 months.
Yeah,
he's like an afterthought. He's the last receiver on your roster, probably on your team.
No rhyme or reason to when you would play Worthy, which is brutal. So the Chiefs, so we'll see what happens with Daniel Jones. But that'll be a fun game. And again, the rarely seen Mahomes, 1 p.m. Eastern. Rest of this window here, Craig, Pittsburgh Steelers are at the Chicago Bears this week. Yeah. Bears are favored to win by 2.5 points. First of all, Rodgers has this broken wrist, and he said about playing, it's a safety thing. You have to be able to protect yourself. Craig, do you think that Rodgers plays versus the Bears this week, or do you think it's Mason Rudolph?
I don't know. I think I would say that Rodgers is going to play. I guess if I had to pick, I would say Rodgers is going to play, but he wants to play. He says he couldn't take. I mean, it's pretty alarming that he said he couldn't take snaps under center as early as yesterday, or as late as yesterday, and then he's going to start to try to do that today, Thursday, when we're taping. I'm like, okay. I mean, if Wednesday you couldn't take snaps under center, a day later you can.
Well, I think that's because it's why have them, if you're broken wrist 3 days ago, why have them just snap a ball really hard into your freshly broken wrist?
I do fear that like this is just going to simplify the Steelers offense even more and not allow him to be under center. And it's just going to be like shotgun, quick slant bullshit that the Bears are going to sniff out immediately. I'll spoil a little bit of Ringer 107. I really like the Bears in this game. I think this is a classic. This game is like two con men facing one another. The Bears are 7-3, and yet they have a negative point differential, and they have the largest turnover margin in the league, plus 16, the Bears. And meanwhile, the Steelers, every Steelers win feels like a fluke. The Steelers create a ton of points off of turnovers, and the Bears don't turn the ball over. Caleb Williams, in this, what Ben Johnson has designed for Caleb Williams, he can miss guys on throws still every once in a while, but he's not turned the ball over. And that has like been the Steelers' bread and butter. And I don't know. I still think the Steelers have definitely gotten more creative over the last 3 weeks defensively in terms of what they've been doing. But I do fear a little bit, like their cornerback room is still beat up. I do think this is a game where Ben Johnson and Caleb can take advantage of the Steelers through the air.
Yeah, I mean, I think I wasn't sure what to make of this game either, because I think Ben Johnson, we talked a lot about Caleb Williams this year, but I was impressed with Ben Johnson on one hand because I think these coaches come in and we talk a lot about the quarterback stuff, but I mean, the Bears running game this year is so much better than Ben Johnson.
Yep.
And Austin showed me this stat. Bears went from 22nd in rushing success rate last year, and this year the Bears rank first in rushing success rate, which is basically just how often are your plays. I know, first.
That's pretty good.
Part of that schedule, it's like the Bears, the games some of the Bears played English. Some of the games the Bears have played already are like the Saints, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Raiders.
I'll give you more on that. The Bears have played one team that currently has a winning record.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So this is the beginning.
And it was the Lions, and they lost by 30.
That's a bad sign. And also, this is the beginning of a stretch of a little more like the Bears kind of, frankly, they got a training wheel schedule for the first 2.5 months of the season. Now the defense is, now it's Steelers, Eagles, Packers, Browns, Packers. And even you think the Browns are a joke, a quarterback or whatever. It's like the Browns defense is no joke. So it's going to be real training wheels are off for Caleb Williams. But I like the bullshitting thing because DK, I was trying to think of something earlier this week there are bend but don't break defenses. And then teams like the Steelers and Bears are just bend and break defenses where it's actually, you can move the ball on them.
In that, you don't want that combination usually.
Well, but you either because you're going to get an explosive player, they're going to get a turnover on you. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. It is a little weird to have, I don't know what to make of this matchup because but I do kind of wonder if the Bears are going to be able to run on Pittsburgh, but it does feel like an important mark for Caleb and the Bears who are just somehow winning and winning. I mean,
the other thing, Craig, that you mentioned, like they feel like con men. Like how long and how consistently is Caleb Williams going to be able to continue to like escape these sacks that he's been escaping? It's almost like it feels like that is not something that they can rely on, either in the short term or the long term. Like he's had these incredible Houdini-like escapes. I think that was part of his deal in college too. But sooner or later, the sacks are going to start coming. Maybe it's this week, and then you start to see them really stall out in drives and really can't move the football. Then they have to abandon the run game, all that stuff. So I just wonder. Yeah, like how long can Caleb Williams keep doing these like Houdini like escapes
I think
every week?
One more week, I think he can still do it. I do. I think like the Houdini stuff is in his blood, and he's like so physically gifted. Yeah. I feel like I'm not worried about that going away. And they have the Bears with the Ben Johnson scheme. They have the highest rate of wide open wide receivers in the league. And like, what do the Steelers do? God, they let guys get wide open. I do think that I'm like. The Bears defense isn't that good, and so maybe the Steelers can put up some points against them. But I do feel like this is not going to be a terrible matchup for Caleb in the offense and the receivers. I don't. Also, we must remember the Steelers just came off a great win, which means you should now take them to lose because they've done this now 4 straight. It's like the terrible loss to the Packers. Then they beat the Colts. Then everyone thinks they're going to have a chance against the Chargers, and we all pick them to take. And then they look like shit against the Chargers. And then they beat the Bengals handedly. This is what they do.
I kind of still think we should just never bet the Steelers again unless everyone's with or against the Steelers. That's the only time you should.
And this is the week people would be for the Steelers because they just beat the Bengals.
I'm sorry, though. We forgot the most important part of this game.
Yeah,
Darnell Washington, the tight end, went on on Amon-Ra St. Brown's podcast with his brother, Equanimous, and talked. And they were like, how also great work. The athlete pods, hit or miss. Dude, great journalism by the St. Brown brothers.
What the people need.
This is what they want.
He deflected for a second, and then they just asked him again, and he answered.
Like, no. He was like, I haven't weighed myself in a minute. And Equanimous was like, bro, you get weighed every week. And he was like, And he says, I'm 311 pounds. He's 311 pounds. He's catching passes. He's 311 pounds.
When Shaquille O'Neal got drafted, he was 320. Think about Shaquille O'Neal.
What weight was he?
How tall is he?
Shaquille O'Neal, when he got his playing weight when he got drafted was 325. He ended up getting to like 400. But still, just imagining Shaquille O'Neal, the weight of him is Darnell Washington running around.
311. The guy goes flying out of bounds.
Dude, I mean, he has to be the biggest player in NFL history to be actually catching passes. That's 100%. And also the people were shocked by this. The weight they do the weights are very sketchy of what they list in the NFL. Like the combine stuff's official.
What's he listed?
264.
260, 265.
But this happened. They're 50 pounds under. That happens all the time.
That's got to be the highest delta in terms of listed weight and playing weight.
I mean, he has to be the heaviest pass catcher in NFL history.
I mean, all the players are larger than they used to be. So it's hard to imagine there was a 300. I mean, there are offensive linemen who've caught passes.
No, like, but whose job is like primarily kind of to catch passes. He has to be the heaviest.
It's hard to search weight in part because he's lying. But he does have to be the heaviest player to ever catch.
Just use your eyes. Look at how freaking massive he is. He's a unit.
It does, DK, you're so right. It does make the Bengals defenders just flying off him last week seem so much fun. Because he looked like
a runaway beer truck.
They
need to use him more.
I know.
Every
100%.
time they use him, like all of their underlying metrics when they throw to Darnell Washington are fucking great.
I think Craig nailed it. Like your intrusive thought. You're like the whole offense should be built out of this, but it is probably there does seem like a 5 or 10% chance here that he's the next Derrick Henry, not literally, but in the sense that in December when players on teams who kind of are quitting and they're like, I'm not even going to be on this team in 3 weeks and don't want to get hurt. no one's going to want to tackle, like cornerbacks trying to tackle Darnell Washington in late December, early January on like flailing teams when he's 100 pounds heavier, 140 pounds heavier than some of these guys. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I love him. And what's funny, I feel like when he came out of Georgia, he was expected to be more of a pass catcher out the gate, and he kind of wasn't. Yes. And it was like, oh, actually, I guess he's just basically a lineman. Right. He's a blocking tight end. And now it's taken 3 years for him to kind of, I guess, put on 60 pounds. And now he's this hybrid version of both.
Dude, there was highlights from his college days where he was hurdling people and stuff.
Yes.
He definitely was. I don't know what he weighed in at the combine, but it had to be in like this 260s or something like that.
And even at that weight, it was like, man, he's huge. Can he play tight end?
Right. But yeah, he was a good pass catcher in college.
Right.
I mean, I was really excited about him. Like I said, I thought he was going to be a first round pick. Physically speaking, obviously he doesn't really have anybody like him in the league. And it's just so much fun to see him being incorporated into the offense. Finally, it just takes a while sometimes with tight ends. We always forget that. Sometimes it takes like 2 to 3 years for these guys to like get integrated into the offense. So yeah, maybe this is an actual real breakout. I would love to see him play at like 280 personally, but
why?
Because
who cares?
This is like 311 is ridiculous.
I want to see him play 320.
DK, that's the least fun thing you've ever said in the entire history of the show.
I want to see him catch 50 passes. That's why.
Don't body shame him.
I want to see him catch 50 passes at 311.
330.
I'll take both.
He should get even bigger.
I agree.
He's not big enough.
How big can we go? Let's push it.
This is
like, did you see like
more
freaking Princess Bride where Andre the Giant is just carrying dudes like
he is like Andre the Giant. 260 pounds more. Okay. Next game here, the Patriots are at the Cincinnati Bengals this week. This is DK. Is Joe Burrow going to play this week or what?
I know. This is the big storyline right now. He's had 2 full practices in practice this week for the Bengals, which, again, as we learned recently, means you're with the starters. You're taking all the reps with the starters.
And Flacco's banged up and hurt right now.
Flacco has a shoulder injury, as we've known for a while here, but he's been limited. Joe Burrow, full practice the last 2 days. I don't know what that means. Schefter is out here tweeting in code. He couched it like 3 or 4 times in one sentence. It was like, hold on, let me pull up the actual tweet here because I want to get it exactly right. It was basically like, the signs continue to point to a potential Joe Burrow return. Come on, just say yes or he's starting or not. I know that you know, Adam.
Dan Orlovsky said on ESPN that he thinks Burrow's going to play, and I kind of am like,
I think it's
if Dan is saying that.
I'm surprised because when they said Joe Burrow could come back by December 7th or whatever, they said that was the earliest, and they said that at the time. And then they moved it up a week for Thanksgiving. So they're moving it up 2 weeks, which you really don't see that much.
Yeah.
It's just a good healer, maybe.
It's the crystals. Yeah. That's really what they didn't account for. Maybe the crystals have if he comes back and plays great, maybe we should have more players doing the crystals.
I think he put a crystal in his shoe to protect his toe.
Maybe. Interestingly enough with this too is that Chase is out. Jamar Chase is going to be out for this game. He's suspended for spitting.
We should get that in the thing though. It should say parentheses Jamar Chase out spitting.
Hawking a loogie. So obviously this is a huge game for T. Higgins if Joe plays. I mean, either if Flacco or Joe Burrow play, it's huge for Higgins. I think Yoshivas should probably get some more opportunities. Maybe Noah Fant. I don't know, but it should be very interesting from an offensive point of view. Obviously, if Joe Burrow plays, it's going to be must-watch football. On the other side of the ball, I saw this stat from Aaron Schatz today. The Bengals are now the worst defense ever tracked by DVOA. Ever.
That's crazy because they went back. That doesn't DVOA goes back to like the
70s
now.
Yeah, 70s. I don't know.
God, doesn't it feel like every year now there's a different defense where like this is the worst defense of all time?
It was the Panthers last year who gave up more points than any other team ever.
But even that was just like total
17-game season. But
DVOA is accounting for the reason DVOA. We talk about it all the time. Is it accounts roughly for context where it's like giving up 6 yards on 2nd and 6 is bad, and giving up 6 yards on 3rd and 9 is good, and so for defense, and so that is that's shocking. Shout out to DeBundo, who's been talking about the Bengals being the worst defense and Bill, who's been talking about the worst defense he's seen ever.
On the other side of the ball, speaking of DVOA, continuing on the DVOA notes here. Again, this is from Aaron Schatz. The Patriots are the second worst 9-2 team in their record. Like they are the Patriots, who are 9-2, are 17th in DVOA this year in the NFL.
That is the result of the schedule. I think the Patriots, I don't think the Patriots are a bad team. I think there are some really good record teams that have been bad. The Steelers started 11-0. Everyone's like, this is an average team.
It's not real.
The Cardinals have forgotten the history. The Cardinals started 9-0 once and everyone was like, ignored them. The Patriots are just, they're closer to like Washington last year, where you're like, a lot of these fundamentals, like Drake May is clearly good. Mike Vrabel's clearly a good coach. Like, I don't think they're just beating the bad opponents in front of them, but I don't think they're a bad team.
No, I agree with that. But I do think, as you said, with like the DVOA metrics, it's good. It's a good way of painting how efficient and how strong a team is with, strength of schedule included. So, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I think the Patriots should control this game because their offense is good and they'll be able to run the ball and they'll be able to control the clock. But thought that was a funny note. The other thing, just looking at the Patriots schedule this year, I think they have 3 good wins. They beat the Bills, who are 7-3 right now, the Panthers, who are 6-5. They're kind of all over the place, and they've beaten the Buccaneers. But their other wins are over the Dolphins, who are 4-7, and that's like the best team, that the other team that they've beaten. Otherwise, they've beaten the 2-8 Saints, the 1-9 Titans, the 2-8 Browns, 3-7 Falcons, and the 2-8 Jets. Like, they've had such a good schedule in terms of just being able to breeze through, get W's,
and they're going to be the 1 seed because of it.
It's really, that's the goal, right? Is you bottom out when you still know you can't. It's honestly, Heifetz, the Giants. Like, you guys are going to have a last place schedule heading into next year where you're going to have Neighbors, Scatteroo, Dart, a top 3 pick in the draft, Abdul Carter, all these guys on the defensive line. Like, this could be you next year. Get excited.
How dare you throw hope in my face? That's just unbelievable. So first of all, Burrow coming back, quarterback. Where should we rank Burrow at quarterbacks if he comes back and plays this week?
He's a slow starter. That's the thing. You guys remember, obviously, going back the last few years, coming off of weird preseasons, Burrow always takes like a month to get going. So I wouldn't expect too much, to be totally
No Jamar Chase because of the hawking. Yeah. The hawk too from Jamar Chase.
But you know how you like words that are only used in specific phrases?
I do.
Hawking a loogie. You don't use hawking anywhere else.
That's good. That's good.
It's onomatopoeia.
I don't even know. How do you spell hawk? Is it H-O-C-K or is it H-A-W-K?
I think it probably was H-O-C-K. But now because of hawk Tua, it's like hawk.
Right.
H-A-W-K.
But like hawk, H-O-C-K, I've never seen that word used in any other context.
That's so true. That's so true because it probably isn't a word. It's probably an onomatopoeia. You're right, DK. It's probably like I'm not going to do it on my... Oh, you did it on my... Yeah. Okay.
I already did it a few times. Sorry.
For an audio medium. The other part for this game, big game for toe injury returns because not only Burrow maybe, but Ramondre Stevenson, the running back for the Patriots, big free feet week. But Ramondre Stevenson is practicing again.
Yep.
Might play this week. Don't know for sure. I made a potentially disastrous decision in the Ringer Fantasy League.
No, this is smart. You got to get out. Sell high.
I'm torn. I had Travion Henderson in the Ringer Fantasy League. And
Bill had him. Bill drafted him.
Bill
kept
cut
him for 8 weeks. Then Bill cut him.
Yeah, Heifetz is playing with house money here. I feel like it's all good.
I added Travion Henderson. I had him for 3 weeks. 20 days. He scored 5 touchdowns. He was like a top 3 running back in that span. I had him for Jonathan Taylor's bye week. I had him for Chase Brown's bye week. And then Ramondre's coming back, and I flipped him to Mal for Roma Dunze because I wanted receiver depth because he's starting 3 receivers in the league. And my backups are like, Pearsall and Christian Watson, who I think are frankly like really freaking awesome. But I'm like, I kind of can have a win this league. I could win this league. I'm the number one in standings. And I was just like, my backup receivers both just had injuries. I'm like, that makes me a little nervous, like for like plotting 6 weeks from now.
These are the guys that Heifetz was trying to trade Craig for
Craig needs them right now. They're playing. It's fine. Christian Watson's been incredible. But I flipped him for Roma Dunze. I think in a vacuum, because Travion, I had, no one cares. I had McCaffrey, Jonathan, we'll cut all this. I had Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown, Javonte Williams. Travion Henderson's my 5th guy. Here's my reason I'm worried. I'm playing Mallory this week, and I gave her Travion Henderson. And I'm like, is Travion Henderson just going to be the number 1 running back again this week? Because they're playing the Bengals. They're the worst defense in the history of DVOA. And she has T. Higgins and Travion. I'm like, am I going to lose and maybe not get a first-round bye because I sent her to Travion Henderson?
Yeah.
Is that stupid?
Yeah. DK, what's more likely? That Travion goes back to like 10 carries a game, 50 yards, disappointing, and Ramondre is the lead guy, or that Travion is closer to what we've seen the last 2 weeks? What's more likely?
The first one.
You're right.
I think it's more likely. I think that Travion could have a couple of big games again down the stretch because of his big play potential. That's just kind of the way he plays. But I do think they're going to, I don't think they see him as a, bell cow type of back where they're going to lean on him for 75% of the snaps when they have healthy guys. I think that's just the way that Vrabel wants to play. Now, I could be totally wrong, but that would be like what I think is more likely to happen.
Also, I can't remember a coach that is more vague than Mike Vrabel and unwilling to give anybody a compliment. I guess Belichick, he's following in his footsteps nicely. But man, these reporters are trying to get him to say anything nice about Travion Henderson. And he's just like, all of our running backs help us. Ramondre helps us. Terrell Jennings helps us. Travion Henderson helps us. It's been nice to see our running backs performing well against defenses. Thank you.
So Drake May, Vrabel will glaze Drake May. But even talking about Travion, he's like, even when Travion had like 3 touchdowns in a game, he's like, well, we didn't have 4 yards of carry.
Yep.
It's like, which
he was again, it's nice that he got in the end zone and he made a couple good plays, but blah, blah,
that is why I decided
he's a withholding father.
Yeah. Well, it works, but that's why I decided to flip Henderson. Is because I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with. Look, Henderson very much could be the league winner of the year. Like Travion Henderson, if someone cut him, he could just be the guy going forward. Part of me was like, if Ramondre gets the goal line touches and your entire Henderson thing is just, well, does he break a big run or not? I was like, let me just cash this in for
Craig. Do you think he got enough for that trade?
Probably not.
Do I think Heifetz got enough?
Yeah,
I do. He got Kamani Vidal and Roma Dunze for Travion Henderson. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Vidal is good too.
And he got
good
Laporta.
Addition.
Laporta just the stash in IR because
Laporta on IR. Yeah,
if he comes back, I don't know. Kyle Pitts is my tight end.
Right.
No one cares. Right. I had such a good streak about not talking about my own teams on this show. We should have a counter that goes.
I think
back.
you're allowed to talk about real life trades in fantasy. It's fine.
We talked about Travion as a sell high. Was it this week or last week? So
I sold high.
If you were just listing off the players on your team, I would be like, okay, we're cutting that. But
dude, going back to the Bengals for a second, you want to hear a crazy stat I found?
I do.
Okay. Well, it's coming. Well, don't touch that dial. Nah, it's not that crazy now. I've hyped it up. I was just looking at like interception numbers and interception rates and stuff like that. Joe Flacco is 4th in the NFL in interceptions. Jake Browning is 6th. How the fuck is that? Like, think about that.
That's crazy.
Both of them are top 6 interceptions in the league.
That is pretty insane.
Dude, the Browning, their offense was just non-functional.
I have another good stat for you because that started with the Vikings-Bengals game. I have another stat for you. The Vikings are at the Packers this week.
Yeah.
First of all, big game for JJ McCarthy, right?
I mean, this could cement his legacy. Yeah.
Could cement. I have to give you another stat here on McCarthy. I found this. I couldn't believe it.
People are really
McCarthy's stats are turning into Kenny Pickett
stats. McCarthy's getting fucking destroyed.
It's better. I didn't realize when I started to look this up, I didn't realize I would find this. JJ McCarthy's EPA per dropback, so expected points added per dropback this season, ranks 850 out of 852 quarterbacks this century.
Wow. Say it again.
Once you start throwing in the word century,
if you look at every quarterback every quarterback in the True Media database, which goes back to 2000, every quarterback qualifying, so you've thrown enough pass attempts to qualify for like the passer rating thing, just the passer rating cutoff. Every qualifying quarterback in the 20th century, there's 852 quarterbacks. He ranks tied with Josh Rosen for the 3rd to last spot.
Oh, I was going to say, where's Josh Rosen in there?
He's 850th.
Who's the
out
lowest?
Of 852? Jamarcus Russell. He's 2 spots ahead of Jamarcus Russell in EPA per dropback. This is true for many stats. He has his completion percentage.
Okay, now the eye black seems a little fucked up.
Now 9 seems a little fucked up. Another one, JJ McCarthy's completion just simple stats. If you don't like EPA, fine. I think EPA is a good stat. JJ McCarthy's completion percentage on 3rd down this season is 35%. That ranks 851 out of 852 in quarterbacks since 2000. Fucking Chad Hutchinson, who I've never heard of, and apparently he's an undrafted guy who had to play for the Cowboys in 2002. I'd never heard of him. He's behind Jamarcus Russell.
I think Glenn Powell played Chad Hutchinson in the TV show.
He's fat. I've never heard of Chad Hutchinson in my whole life. All these literally, because McCarthy's last in every stat you want to find, like counting stats this season. But like when you zoom out, I didn't realize his completion percentage is so, everything is so bad. But I mean, I'm talking, the part that really concerned me was the EPA per drop, the actual productivity is significantly worse than teams that were trying to lose on purpose. Like the Browns 0-16, Deshaun Kaiser's ahead of him. The Curtis Painter Colts, who didn't win any games, and that's when they were tanking for Andrew Luck because Peyton Manning had the neck injury. Like Curtis Painter's very ahead of JJ McCarthy. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah. How bad you felt it was, it's way worse, actually.
And so, if you're wondering why, I thought Kevin O'Connell, the head coach of the Vikings, had a very thorough breakdown, frankly, more in depth than anything I've ever heard a coach talk about of a quarterback's performance, in like the technical mechanics of it in season. And to your point, concrete, DK, he said, I told JJ we need to start seeing the cement dry. And then Kevin O'Connell said this, and I clipped it, Ronak, if you can play it, because I thought it was, you don't hear coaches talk like this very often.
I think something Vikings fans can look for is, when he gets to the top of his drops, we're really trying to see if we can get him to be a little bit more in a repeatable body position. And what I mean by that is the posture of, a firm but athletic kind of lower half. We don't really like when his feet get too far outside the framework of his body. And that happened a couple times the other day that contributed to maybe some of the accuracy. His feet got a little bit wide. His base got really wide.
DK, what do you make of Kevin O'Connell? Well, first of all, what do you make of him of that quote?
I mean, it resonates because it does feel like his mechanics are all funky right now. Like just the way he throws, it just doesn't look right coming off of his hands. It's almost like when he was talking about that, it almost just reminds me of like how a receiver or a reliever or any pitcher in the majors will go into the stretch. If there's like a guy on base, like the way he throws, it's just like so wide based. And everything he throws is fastballs. He can't take anything off the ball, throw a touch. He can't throw to the left. The numbers going to the left are dramatically worse than going to the right, which is obviously really concerning. It just looks like he's aiming it. So it's almost like he has the yips. It's not really that different from the Anthony Richardson discussion where it's like the easiest throws look fucking atrocious. He's like chucking it 8 feet over the head of Justin Jefferson when he's like relatively open.
I was going to bring up in the Anthony Richardson vein, like lessons from drafting JJ McCarthy. And there's a lot of people online now are like, yeah, well, you took a guy that the head coach of Michigan at the time, like Jim Harbaugh, didn't even trust his quarterback enough to throw the ball 15 times in the national championship. Like the whole team was built around not having to rely on JJ McCarthy. And although he started 2 seasons for Michigan, it's like when you look at what he was actually asked to do in the same way that Anthony Richardson barely played any games. How many touchdowns do you think JJ McCarthy threw in college, his entire collegiate career, 3 years, DK?
30?
11.
What?
Yeah, it's like
no, that's wrong. It was 49. But you believed it. You believed it. Is my point. He threw 11 picks.
So 49 touchdowns. Okay, so I guess.
But it was not relied on. This is a guy who the team never needed him to step up. And that often, I guess. Yeah,
and that was a talking point during the pre-draft process. I mean, I think the thing that we talked about the most during, the run up to the draft was basically like JJ McCarthy is a theoretical quarterback, right? Like he has some tools that are very interesting, but he just wasn't asked to do too much in college. He was barely asked to play from behind, hardly ever, which is also another great thing that like if you focus only on it when a quarterback is trailing or having to mount like late game comebacks, like those numbers can tell
when defenses know
story.
You have to pass.
Right. Exactly. So, I'm not giving up on him quite yet, but the numbers, it's like we're bordering on like Zach Wilson stuff. Like it's atrocious.
That's why I brought it up. It's not bordering because here's the thing.
Well, you're right. It is.
This is why I want to
like Zach Wilson-esque numbers here.
It's worse than Zach Wilson. It's worse than Anthony Richardson. It's worse than Jamarcus Russell. It's worse than Josh Rosen. It's worse than Achilles Smith with the Bengals.
Does it matter that he's only played 5 games? Does that matter to you?
Yes. He hasn't played that much, to be clear. The important point, though, is that this team is a lot better than any other of those people were ever able to start with, because he has Justin Jefferson, who statistically has had productivity, the best start to a receiver season ever. It's a juiced receiver era, more passing, but he has Jefferson, he has Jordan Addison, he has TJ Hawkinson. That's 3 first-round picks, including the most productive receiver since Randy Moss.
He also has Kevin O'Connell, who revived Sam Darnold. He made Josh Dobbs good for a while. Like he can turn anybody into a quality quarterback in theory.
And I think it's a reminder that. And also, first of all, I forgot to say this, and this is important. That interview was from KFan 100.3 in Minnesota. I'm sorry, that interview poll is really good interview. Kevin O'Connell and other stuff. I meant to shut them out earlier, but yeah, KFan 100.3. They did a great job.
It's kind of, you don't often hear a coach say like, he was telling the fans to essentially watch tape scout McCarthy. He was like, for the fans, watch his base at the top of his drop. You're like,
I had 2 thoughts during it. One, I was kind of thinking about one of the reasons O'Connell's probably a good quarterback guru is I remember thinking Jordan Palmer, the private quarterback coach, who's Carson Palmer's brother, basically said he started his company because he realized that at the NFL level, a lot of quarterbacks coaches and offensive coaches are actually experts in scheme, not mechanics or technique. And which you kind of don't think about, but you listen to Kevin O'Connell and so I will say though, the other stat I couldn't believe, you just look at the last 10 years, McCarthy's overall completion percentage, which right now is like 53%. The only quarterbacks who've been worse than that in the last 10 years are Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson. Now that's the 2 wolves inside you, right? Like Josh Allen and Richardson, and the 2 paths. McCarthy does not have either of their physical ability. I think the important point is that they both had to rebuild their mechanics. And the difference is Josh, for whatever reason, was able to play enough football to fix it. And we all forget that Josh Allen was really, 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 really bad for 2 years. Terrible. He was good in that 3rd season, 2020. But that Richardson, like McCarthy, I think just hasn't had enough reps that he's not good enough to continue to get reps on an NFL field right now. He has to continue.
Watch him have like a huge game this weekend against the Packers.
It's a big game for JJ McCarthy, isn't it?
In Lambeau.
It is, yeah.
Big game for JJ. So we'll see.
It's what as we've been saying every week. This is we're gonna learn a lot.
Mac Jones is gonna be fucking awesome on the Vikings next year.
I know. It's like Mac Jones, Anthony Richardson. Like, who's the next guy that Kevin O'Connell is going to, adopt?
You know what's funny? Fix? I think the Vikings should cut JJ McCarthy and then re-sign him and have Kevin O'Connell rehabilitate JJ McCarthy.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Because, it's like he's not working now, but Kevin O'Connell could fix him next year.
O'Connell could fix JJ McCarthy.
I think, that's good.
If he just had the opportunity. Okay, next game. And also just the Packers here. I mean, Josh Jacobs is week to week. I feel like you're always going to miss the game if they call you week to week.
Yeah,
Emmanuel Wilson's
he
playing.
Was limited today, for what it's worth.
This is not science, but maybe they'll email us if I'm wrong, but I can't remember the last player that was called week to week and then played.
Also,
I'm sure there has been.
If he's a game time decision and plays against the Vikings, it's like, oof.
That's the Vikings.
Such a difficult decision.
Emmanuel Wilson's totally playable. I'm not excited about it just because the Vikings are a good defense, but the Packers,
Do you think the Vikings have any chance to win this game? The Packers offensively very beat up now.
Well, maybe the problem is JJ McCarthy's been playing, and if 9 comes out like for the whole game.
Yeah. 9 the number because that's how many points he scores every week. 9 comes out.
It's how many touchdowns he threw in
college.
He
should change his number probably to 33.
Okay. I want to get to blowout corner here. Blowout, aka bounce back corner. And these 3 games are kind of all together. The Seahawks are at Tennessee, and the Seahawks are favored by 13.5 points.
There are some massive spreads.
The Jets are at Baltimore, and the Baltimore's favored by 13.5 points. And then the Giants are in Detroit. Detroit's favored by 10.5 points. I feel like all these games are pretty similar because all these teams that are favored by 2 touchdowns, they didn't actually play that well last week, especially the quarterbacks. I want to start with Darnold. DK, you are going from the Seahawks playing the Rams, who are the second Super Bowl favorites behind the Eagles. And Darnold kind of wet his pants. It's really the second time this calendar year that Darnold has just melted for his team in front of the Rams.
Yeah.
Now he comes back and he's playing the Titans, who are right now the worst record of the NFL for the second year in a row. I don't know how else to say it other than I just feel like we really need Darnold to have another 28-0 lead in the first half and fucking dominate versus Tennessee for you to feel good going forward.
Wouldn't that be nice? This is definitely a get right opportunity for Darnold. I don't know if it means a lot necessarily if he plays well because he's played well for most of the season other than against the Rams. But obviously, I would love to see him not turn the football over. Like, that's the number one thing. Obviously, the Seahawks need to win. That would be number one. But yeah, just don't turn the ball over. Don't force a bunch of passes. Again, this has just been part of Darnold's DNA ever since, going back all the way to college. It's like he almost trusts himself too much to complete the impossible passes. Like, and Matt Hasselbeck was on local radio talking about this week, and basically saying, just let the punter do his job. Just let the punter punt it.
He's the big arm energy.
You don't have to fucking, score 18 points with every throw. So yeah, it's kind of like the old expression, they're trying to hit a 10-run homer with every swing. It's like, you can't just let the fucking punter do his job. It's okay.
It's kind of tough though, because a lot of the times he does hit the 10-run homer. Like I feel like he is just like connecting to Smith and Jigba for these crazy plays all the time.
Double-edged sword. Elsewhere for the Seahawks, I think one thing fantasy wise to kind of keep in mind here is it seems like there maybe was an inflection point this last game with Kenneth Walker overtaking Zach Charbonnet. For fantasy, obviously that matters. Kenneth Walker, they've been sort of keeping him on a pitch count throughout the whole season because of his foot injury that he had in the preseason, plus, combined with the fact that he's had injuries pretty much every year that he's been in the NFL. So they're just trying to keep him healthy. But as we go along, I think it's pretty clear that Kenneth Walker is a more explosive and just overall better running back than Zach Charbonnet, even though the Seahawks trust Charbonnet in a lot of situations. But there's been reporting in Seattle, and Mike McDonald even said in a presser that he said, I think Ken is showing he's deserving some more opportunities. He got some goal line stuff in this last week, which he almost never gets. So fantasy wise, he's another guy that if your trade deadline hasn't gone by, he's like a buy low opportunity sort of. People are probably pretty frustrated with him on their fantasy benches. And so, yeah, I saw this actually. Ian Hartitz he has a cool shit, quote unquote, cool shit metric, which is total touchdowns, explosive plays, and tackles avoided divided by carries and targets opportunities.
We might have to steal that. Cool
it's
shit. It's
so good. I mean, it just makes so much sense. The cool shit category. Kenneth Walker is 4th behind Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amarian Hampton. And that's all running backs with 50
Hampton being there, I already figured out the thing. We're going to tweak what Ian. Great work by Ian Hartitz. We're going to tweak it. We have to do cool shit minus bad dumb shit. Because Amarian Hampton dropped a bunch of passes and stuff. Like, we need cool shit minus X. We need that X take away from cool shit.
That's adjusted cool shit.
Adjusted cool shit.
Yeah.
Is cool shit minus X.
The other people that are in that sort of top category are Jalen Warren, Bijan Robinson, and Devon Achane. Yeah. So good company to be in.
And then we need boring shit, lame shit, and that's just like Kareem Hunt.
Right.
Yes. Wow, great success rate on your fucking early down runs, Kareem Hunt. No one cares.
What is the old expression? It's like if you need 2 yards, I'll get you 3. If you need 5 yards, I'll get you 3.
Yeah.
This is some sort of playoff of that.
I think you nailed it, DK. Where basically Darnold, if he plays well, it means nothing. Plays poorly, it means a lot.
Are they going to kick the shit out of Tennessee, DK?
Yes,
probably.
I don't think we can talk about this.
It would be very disconcerting if they don't.
I don't think the Titans will score a touchdown in this game unless they do it off a Darnold turnover that sets them up inside the red zone. I think even if a Darnold turnover puts Tennessee at their own 30, I don't think the Titans will score on the Seahawks defense.
I sense where your Ringer 107.
We should probably bet the Titans to win the game because I have a Costanza level confidence that the Seahawks are going to win. But the other just wild spread here is the Jets are at the Ravens, and Tyrod Taylor is going to start for Fields, but the Ravens are favored to win by 13.5 points over the Jets.
Yes, and this is the game where if the Ravens win this game and the Steelers lose, they're now tied for the division 6-5. Yes, which I think both those things are going to happen. Obviously, I think the Ravens are going to beat the Jets, but Lamar is now battling his third new injury in 3 weeks. In theory, he was out for a while with the hamstring. Then he missed practice last week with a knee injury. And this week he missed practice on Wednesday with an ankle injury. So I think this supports the feeling that we've had about Lamar for the last month is that he's just not healthy.
Yeah.
And it's why he's not running. And it's why the offense doesn't look quite as dynamic as he's not healthy. And it's like they're clearly monitoring his reps and keeping him on ice as best they can during the week, but he's just not healthy. But luckily for them, they play the Jets, then they play the Bengals, which I guess is different now with Burrow. And then they play the Steelers. And the Steelers, unfortunately, play the Bears, and then the Bills, and then the Ravens. So I still feel good about the Ravens.
Yeah, the Lamar thing is you can just see he doesn't move around nearly as well. His sack rate is absolutely skyrocketed this year.
He gets sacked all the
pressure to
time
sack
now.
rate. He's just not getting away from the stuff he typically gets away from.
I don't know. I'm torn. I think he's been getting sacked, but first of all, there were issues. I don't know. Some of the sacks he took versus like Detroit before he had the hamstring injury.
7 seconds.
I think there's all overall offensive stuff. Like even a lot of the sacks he took versus the Browns, I actually thought it was schematic. They were doing a lot of teams do this on the goal line now. You know that little play at the 1 yard line where they kind of take a shotgun snap and then the quarterback kind of just sprints to the pylon and then another receiver sprints and they just kind of throw that little out and they just kind of, it's just like, we're going to get like 8 inches with this pass and it's like unguardable. The Browns guarded that multiple times and then they didn't. So the whole point of doing that was instead of doing it at the goal line, they're doing it in the middle of the field to run away from Myles Garrett. So they were leaving Myles Garrett unblocked and then kind of having Lamar just sprint away from him. But then the first and second reads weren't there. And then Myles Garrett just fucking caught him. And it happened like multiple times. And I'm watching, I'm like, there's something wrong here. When NFL teams it's like galaxy brain where you're like, oh, we're going to leave Myles Garrett unblocked. And then he fucking sacked Lamar twice unblocked. There's clearly, I don't know, Todd Monken, the coordinator, I don't know exactly what's going on, but the Ravens offensive coordinator, I think at times there's elements of galaxy brain with what the Ravens want to do sometimes. But it was funny to see Myles Garrett not blocked and then get a sack anymore.
Those types of plays are always just a reminder for me that timing is so important. Timing is one of the least or most under-discussed things I think about like offenses in the NFL is just how important timing is. This was always what it was like with Bill Walsh. Like, timing and location in like a passing game or whatever. It's like when you hit however many steps your drop back is. That's how deep like a receiver has to be. He has to be open exactly in the right spot at the exact right time. Everything is about timing.
Rhythm is not a metaphor in football. It's very literal.
Yeah. So, when best laid plans and all that, but like if you're not blocking Myles Garrett, if the timing is off, you're fucked. So that I just thought that was just interesting from like a football point of view.
We'll get to this game in Ringer 107, but yeah, I mean, I think that this is. I mean, you're going to play all the people you would play in fantasy in this one, and you're going to bench all the people you would bench.
Is there any world in which Tyrod Taylor makes this, or Tyrod Taylor makes this somewhat interesting Jets offense, or is he just pretty much bad?
I think the Jets passing offense will be a lot better with Tyrod Taylor, like significantly better. I think you should pick up Mason Taylor in fantasy, particularly if you're in a deeper league, like preemptively, because even if he doesn't play well, I think he'll get a lot of targets. Maybe it'll be an Amon-Ra, St. Brown situation last week, like 2 for 12 to start. But I think Mason Taylor is worth adding because I just feel like Mason Taylor will be the number one tight end we talk about next week because I just think a tight end will be the number one I think the number one option on this Jets offense. And I think Tyrod Taylor is capable of having a below average passing offense as opposed to what the Jets were before, which was like borderline like a non-functioning
was not a passing offense.
Yeah, it was even JJ McCarthy with everything we said. It's getting 130 yards a game. And Justin Fields is under 60 yards 4 times. I mean, that's not going Tyrod Taylor is going to be able to do that. Maybe even once a half. So I think Mason Taylor's the guy to add. I don't think you have to play anyone but Breece Hall in this game though. The other one, just Giants are at the Lions this week. This was another one. I mean, the Lions are bounced back. This is another like Jared Goff. Played horribly against the Eagles. The Lions were kind of bullied. Sam Laporta, the tight end for the Lions, on injured reserve. I don't think the Giants are capable of rocking the Lions up front quite the way that the Eagles were. The Eagles really dominated and they blocked down all the Jared Goff passes. I know the Giants have a good line, but Dexter Lawrence, frankly, at this point, I don't think he's playing nearly as well as Jalen Carter, and I don't think they're going to be able to. I mean, they're not. Quinion Mitchell for the Eagles really handled them on Raw last week, and I don't think the Giants have anyone to do that. So I think the Giants are going to get handled. The only thing here is just Jackson Dart's back at practice. I think Jackson Dart's going to play, and it'll be interesting to see Jackson Dart without Brian Dable coming back from the concussion. Is Jackson Dart going to run more? Is he? I mean, he's not going to not run at all, but is Dart going to protect himself? Is he going to pull back too much and be a little conservative? Just how Jackson Dart plays. Yeah. After Brian Dable was fired because he couldn't really even safeguard the future of the team. It's just going to be interesting to see. Selfishly for me, so we'll see. But if you have fantasy, you can totally play Dart.
Obviously, the Lions at home here, so good get-right game for the offense.
I think the Lions going forward are going to be absolutely...
They're indoors for the rest of the season, right?
I think they're outdoors again in week 18, but that's not fantasy. The fantasy season through the championships, the Lions are only indoors. I think they're going to go nuclear. Afternoon games. These games kind of suck. There's a good game, there's 2 bad games, and there's a weird one. The Eagles are at Cowboys, which I think is interesting. And then Craig's quarantine corner actually happened this year with Craig's idea that bad teams should be quarantined. I think it ended up happening because the Browns are at the Raiders and Falcons are at the Saints, which I think is.
This is the week of this. I think I've now decided that week 12 is the week that the losers bracket should begin in the NFL. Imagine Shedeur versus Geno, except now they're planning to fucking get to the championship game of the losers bracket for the first pick in the draft.
They should play for the number one pick. It would make it better.
It would be amazing if they started to splinter off. The teams that are mathematically eliminated are now competing for the first pick in the draft. Now Shedeur versus Geno, Kirk Cousins versus Tyler Shuck is happening on Sunday. You have Jacoby Brissett versus Trevor Lawrence, which I guess is okay. Yeah, this is when the loser bracket should start.
DK, real quick, how do you feel about Shedeur Sanders, NFL quarterback, playing versus the Raiders this week?
Well, the Raiders don't have a good defense, so that helps. But I mean, look, he hasn't gotten hardly any first team reps this year. He basically hasn't probably gotten very many reps at all this year. Clearly the NFL wasn't very high on him. The first time he came in last week, he looked awful. So I don't have high expectations, put that way. I'm open to the idea that he's going to look better after having a full week of practice as a starter. But, based on what they've done, what the Browns have done with like Dylan Gabriel this year, they're probably just going to be just a boring ass offense. It's going to be ugly.
Can I don't want to give Shedeur too much time, but since he's starting, I think if Shedeur does the thing where he gets a snap and there's pressure, whatever, and runs straight backward, if he does that more than twice, I think his career is functionally over.
Okay.
Like if he does that more,
for him.
Once is a habit, two, if he does that more than twice, basically he had a whole week to look at, if he doesn't realize after actually experiencing it on an NFL field once, if he doesn't learn by now, like he had 7 days to be like, you can't do that anymore. If he does that 3 times in this game, he'll never learn. They won't get enough reps to learn.
He's so lucky that Myles Garrett is his teammate and then he doesn't have to face him. Although I guess Max Crosby's not that much worse.
We'll have to talk about this one too. The most interesting game in this slate, I think, is just this part after you get the Eagles are at Cowboys. Can I give you like a weird intrusive thought I had doing this game?
Yeah.
Just prepping it. Do the Cowboys have an advantage over the Eagles in the trenches in this game? When the Cowboys are on defense, the Cowboys defense, does it have an trench advantage over offense? I actually am wondering that entering this game.
The Quinnen Williams addition is not nothing for that defense. I mean, he looked pretty damn good in this last game. They certainly have some talent on the defense.
Kenny Clark had a big sack.
Yeah, Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams. Maybe freaking Jerry is actually cooking. Well, he's cooking out here.
Well, that's the thing, dude.
Start from the middle and work outwards.
Yeah,
not the other way around.
It's what the Eagles did, but I'm just saying the Cowboys, Quinnen Williams, look, the picks they gave up, giving up on Micah Parsons, whatever. But the team on the field, the Cowboys have 5 new players over the last 2 weeks that they didn't have. They have Quinnen Williams at defensive tackle. They have Logan Wilson, who they traded for as linebacker from the Bengals. They got back to Maureen Overshone, who's really great, and then had a horrific knee injury. He's back. Malik Hooker's back at safety. And then, even Siobhan Revel, the cornerback, they have a lot more players that they acquired over the last 2 weeks, or either back from injury or whatever. And then I'm looking, I'm like, the combo of that versus Lane Johnson, who's the best right tackle in the NFL, is not playing in this game. The Eagles lineman,
they've just been so banged up. Yeah.
Cam Jurgens is back at center, but he's not 100%. Landon Dickerson has been 100%. So the right side of the Eagles offensive line is Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of, maybe this is really stupid, but I kind of looked at this line. I'm like, Eagles favored to win by 3.5.
Interesting, because the Eagles are, as we've said all year, they're not necessarily a play from behind team. I mean, when they are forced to play from behind, at least we've seen Hurts do some stuff. But theoretically, this team is definitely built to play with a lead.
It crossed my mind, Heifetz, looking at this game. I was like, is there any world in which the Cowboys are the play here? The question is how much do you think Dak can throw on Philly?
That's the question, because Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell, and really Jalen, I think Marcus Spears at ESPN, who's so good at trench stuff. He nailed it. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are playing the Williams brothers, the mid 2000s Vikings. They had Pat and Kevin Williams. And Jordan Davis is this black hole, space eating defensive tackle run stopper. And he's batting past. And Jalen Carter is just not as good as Aaron Donald, but the pass rushing from Jalen Carter, the interior pressure they have
Just
is
collapsing.
so crazy that it is just third game records thrown around too much, but Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are wrecking games because you can't really run or pass up the middle. It's just destroying everything. So, but the flip side is, so it's like, can they block them? It feels stupid, but if so, I don't know. It's funny because I feel like Dak Prescott could play great in this game, throw 2 picks. Jalen Hurts throws for 120 yards with no turnovers, and the Eagles win 16-13.
I mean, this is the Cowboys. They're not playing the Raiders again. You know, this is not the Raiders defense.
I know. It's like I was talking myself into the Cowboys. Do I think they can throw against the Eagles? Could they put up points, force the Eagles to have to score? Are the Eagles going to struggle to run the ball? I don't know. But then it's like, man, what Philly just did to Jared Goff, they made Jared Goff look like he shouldn't be a starting quarterback. And in the week before that, they held Jordan Love to like 180 scoreless yards. They scored 7 points, the Packers, in that game. Literally, the last 2 weeks, the Eagles have fucking disemboweled the Lions and the Packers, which gets me a little nervous. And I once again, I'm like, I actually think I want to stay away from betting against the Eagles.
Well, here's the question, though. Do you think Jalen Carter spits at Dak Prescott again?
If
or
I'm
does
Dak,
Dak spit at Jalen Carter?
No.
These things happen in threes. We have remember, Jalen Carter didn't play week 1 because he spit at Dak Prescott
Pickens
for the first play of the
spit
season.
at somebody.
If you're Dak,
who's getting spit?
Your goal should be to get Jalen Carter to spit on you. That's like
you
the
want him to
goal
hawk
of the week. Yeah, hawk.
You want Jalen Carter to hawk.
Yes.
Spit on
that
thing.
game week 1, the Cowboys the Cowboys lost the Eagles by 4 in that game. Right, and Hurts 150 scoreless passing yards.
I don't know how much longer we could talk about this, but the whole season, the whole Jalen Hurts. This is really like the Philly fans who are pretending this wasn't real. It kind of blew over this week as a very respected guy in Philadelphia who's very in with the team, kind of said it on local television about how Jalen Hurts is playing his own game and the coaches are frustrated. And then it's just the whole thing. But
who's that?
Let me pull it up. I forget
Can we play a name game with AJ Brown, which I think is the most important question of the week in fantasy?
Yeah,
I genuinely think it is the single hardest decision to make. Maybe like if Josh Jacobs is a game time decision, what do you do? But do I play AJ Brown against the Dallas Cowboys? I think is
instead of who?
Well, let's go through it. Michael Pittman.
No, I would play Pittman.
You play Pittman?
Yeah, I would.
Michael Wilson. Who Marvin Harrison Jr. is not playing.
Honestly, maybe.
Now that Harrison's definitely not playing, I think I'd probably lean.
I hate the problem. I mean, AJ Brown did not have a target for 59 minutes versus the Cowboys in week 1.
So you're both picking Michael Wilson?
I think in that very specific situation.
I would probably play AJ Brown.
All right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
George Pickens, who will be on the other side of the ball in the same game.
I'm playing Pickens.
Pickens is doing great.
Okay. Rome Odunze?
Rome.
Yeah.
Tet McMillan?
Tet.
Devontae Smith?
Devontae. Watching Eagles games,
Smith is like straight up outscoring AJ Brown this year, right?
DK Metcalf.
I think they're in the same vein. I would probably say AJ Brown.
Mason Rudolph. I hate watching Mason Rudolph play football. Metcalf.
No. Alec Pierce?
It's so weird because it's Alec Pierce. Yeah. How was he in yards per game last month?
You're playing Alec Pierce over AJ Brown?
I think we're at that point. You know why? I think that these are
how far we've fallen.
We're in nut crunch time for fantasy. You have to, at some point, it transitions from, player stars, which can get transitioned into dance with who brung you.
Yep.
AJ Brown's still a star, but he hasn't brung you fucking nowhere. Like at some point, if you're, you know what I mean? It hasn't brought you anywhere. At some point, I guess when he goes on Twitch and says, if you have me in fantasy, get rid of me. And then he plays poorly. Whose fault is that?
Yeah,
that's your fault. He fucking said, sit me in fantasy. And so if he plays well, cool. If he plays poorly, dude, he literally said, don't play me.
What about somebody who's been holding on to Ricky Pearsall for 8 weeks and it's now Ricky Pearsall or AJ Brown?
Christ. I'm starting AJ Brown.
Dude, you know what's funny is because it's so funny how the little 1 catch on 3 targets looks at you weird. Because Ricky Pearsall the first 3 weeks he had 25 targets. He was doing so well.
He was amazing.
Unambiguously better than AJ Brown.
Yeah.
In fantasy, not in real life. But it's one of those, if I had to tell other people what to do, maybe AJ Brown. But if my life, if I was going to die if I got it wrong, I'd play Ricky Pearsall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess Ricky Pearsall.
Do we want to discuss that the Falcons are playing the Saints, or should we just skip it?
Kirk Cousins.
It's just Kirk Cousins. I think I mean, London's out, so just the question is like Kyle. I mean,
Pitts.
honestly, it's Kyle Pitts' name game. Would you play Kyle? If you're Craig, I have bad news. You're gonna die if you get this wrong.
I'm playing Kyle Pitts in several leagues this week.
Who has more fantasy points this week, Kyle Pitts or AJ Brown? You will be killed if you get this answer wrong.
I would pick AJ Brown.
Kyle Pitts, the 4th pick in the NFL draft, who was selected over Jamar fucking Chase, is now Drake London is out. Is Darnell Mooney playing this week?
Yeah, I think so.
But he's playing hurt. He's got 3 different injuries Darnell Mooney's managed this year.
Mooney's going to have 8 targets and 2 catches.
And like Mooney cannot catch the ball. I think he's talented, but he's hurt. And Kyle Pitts, we're sitting here like, can this dude have 80 yards in a game? It feels impossible.
I don't think it's going to happen with Kirk. The thing AJ Brown can score, I feel confident that at least if they get into the red zone, AJ Brown might catch a touchdown. Kyle Pitts, you can't rely on anything. At least I can be like AJ Brown can catch touchdowns at the very least.
I almost want the Cowboys to kind of cover the Eagles. Like, I almost want them to just stop covering AJ Brown and see how long he notices.
You mean
and like he won't run the routes?
Yeah, and see how long until Jalen Hurts notices that no one's
He's not even looking that way. He has no idea. He's looked at AJ Brown at weeks.
The best thing that could happen is the Cowboys start this game with an opening drive touchdown, and then it's like, all right, now what, Philly?
Yeah, we have so the Eagles going to win the Super Bowl, so we have to save some of this for later. But yeah, Falcons-Saints, just skip them. Sunday Night Football, Bucks are at the Rams. This is fun.
Yeah,
it's Scrappy Baker versus the Rams. It's also like a little mushy gushy because Baker had that. Like,
Baker was on the Rams.
Amazing Rams game where you landed in LA on a Tuesday night and won a Thursday Night Football game.
Who did he throw that touchdown to again? We had this discussion before. Now I'm blanking on it again. Was it Van Jefferson?
That sounds
or it was some random person. I can't remember. I'll look it up. Well, yeah,
I have it. Van Jefferson, yeah, good memory.
Was it? Wow.
DK's memory for once.
Look at me.
DK, would you play Sean Tucker coming off being like 140 yards and 3 touchdowns?
I kind of feel like you have to, even though this is not necessarily, it's not a good matchup for the Buccaneers run game. The Rams defense has been really good. But yes, I would still play him. We're still unsure if Bucky Irving is going to play. If Bucky Irving does play, that's where I think you can definitely think about sitting Sean Tucker. If Bucky Irving does not play, then yeah, I'm starting him. Just because I think, the coaches came out, this Josh Grizzard, the offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, who we haven't really talked about a lot much this season, I think, came out and said in the press that, yeah, they were trying to give Sean Tucker more opportunities. I mean, we talked about this on Sunday, I think, is like Tucker is super explosive, breaks a lot of tackles, and then Rachaad White is like,
he's there.
He just dances around. I think he's good in the passing game, and he's like overall a pretty decent, all around back. But yeah, Tucker's just an explosive play waiting to happen. So, just obviously keep an eye on what Bucky Irving. But Bucky Irving is still limited. I think there's like some thought that he's not going to play again. So obviously this is something that we can't answer. It's been
a weird injury. The Bucky Irving situation, I don't know exactly what's going on, but he posted about it online. Like he was frustrated about it. Like it's tough for guys to, they play football their whole lives.
He just started taking contact, I think, last week. It was a strange situation. It's, 19 out of 20 injury situations are relatively standard. This was one of the 20 where for whatever reason it was. They didn't put him on IR. So I thought he would be back. The shoulder. Yeah, there were communication issues, I guess is the diplomatic way to put it. Between them. On the other side of the ball, I like the Rams here. Obviously, they're a really complete team. They just beat the Seahawks, number 2 in DVOA on offense and defense. So they're just really good on both sides of the football.
It's funny that when the Super Bowl ended, and if you had to pick who were the best 2 teams in the NFC, you'd be like Eagles-Rams. Yep. And then now they're the 2 Super Bowl favorites. Like we're, more than halfway through the season now. And we're like, it's for all the Michigas, it's exactly where we thought it would be with these 2 teams.
And honestly, the Rams are like the best coached team in the NFL. So
I think the new thing going forward, part of me just thinks bet on Sean McVay every season and every game. And that
you're going to be right more often than not.
Monday Night Football is the Panthers are at the 49ers. All I have to say is, to Craig's point, who the fuck picked this game for primetime?
We're getting crushed.
Why is this in primetime?
I know it's not. It's like nothing has changed. Like when the season started, I don't know if they have to like bet on a couple teams they think will be rising stars, because you can't just give it to like the Chiefs and the Eagles every single week. And maybe they thought, I mean, the Raiders got the Monday night game last week, so maybe they were like, Vegas and Carolina are two teams we think might pop. Yeah, it sucks.
This is awful. And the Niners lost another kicker, Eddie Pinheiro, so they kind of snake bit it. So Matt Gay is going to be the kicker for the Niners now.
Dude, the Niners haven't been able to figure out
from the Commanders, right?
The Niners haven't been able to figure out their kicking situation in like 3 years.
Well, I don't want to draw too much of a line, but I do think that this is an issue of when a head coach like Kyle Shanahan is also actually the decision maker in terms of personnel. Just to pick one example, I apologize, I forget who reported this, but they basically explained that Kyle Shanahan, they drafted Jake Moody, their former kicker, in the 3rd round, which is
really high.
I mean, crazy high for a kicker that wasn't even ranked. I mean, wasn't even like an amazing kicking prospect. And the reason apparently was that Kyle Shanahan's like, well, I looked at the depth chart and like, man, I don't think we can get a starter at another spot here. Which is like such a, kicker was the place you could start. Which is a crazy way to evaluate a draft pick, because like get another lineman, pick a side of the ball.
Yeah.
Like people get hurt. It's very coaching confidence. Like, well, I can't fit anyone. The other thing is kickers. Of all the things we know about the draft, there's no better bet than don't draft a kicker, because even the good ones, that guy's almost certainly getting 80 or 90% of kickers that get drafted are cut and then have good careers with their second or third team. But that's a long way of coming around. Like every now and then, even the geniuses have blind spots. And I kind of think Shanahan has a weird thing with kickers, but I don't know. It's just kind of like, Urban Meyer kicked the kickers like make your kicks dipshit. It's kind of like that's kind of all the head coaches kind of know sometimes about kickers.
The kicker.
Yeah, dude. They had Robbie Gould from 2017 to 2022, and since then it's been a mess. They can't find one.
This is quietly the Rams' biggest problem too. I mean, Sunday Night Football, the Rams, dude. Harrison, I don't know how to say this guy's name. Harrison Mevis is the kicker for the Rams. Harrison Mevis.
Totally.
I wonder if teams should start rostering 2 kickers, one who's distance and one who's accurate. And so it's like when it's within 45, they bring in one kicker, but then they have like the guy who just comes in and throws gas.
Craig the leg Horlbeck.
Yeah, you just have this guy can 1 out of every 5 times boot it 80 yards, but couldn't hit a 30-yarder to save his life.
It's
Craig the leg hogback.
Craig the leg. That's what we call him back in college. All right. Let's get to Ringer 107. Today's Ringer 107 is brought to you by FanDuel. We're doing this betting contest with all the other Ringer pods. Glad we talked our shit about being first, because we blew it last week, went 0-5, and then now everyone's tied.
We had to talk shit while we were ahead.
Yeah. Whatever, who cares?
So
stop the count.
We're still like nominally in first. They still gave us the first place slot because we've been in first.
Nice.
This week is hard. Because there's so many giant freaking spreads and then other games with backup quarterbacks. So we're betting the Seahawks. So Sam Darnold versus Cam Ward minus 13.5. Lamar Jackson Ravens versus Tyrod Taylor Jets minus 13.5. Colts getting 3.5. Colts no matter what. Bears. Craig thinks Bears favored over the Steelers 2.5 points.
Oh, I love that you guys are like that's the bet. That's ridiculous. You trust fucking broken wrist Aaron Rodgers or Mason Rudolph?
I just feel weird that the Bears are favored.
Obviously not.
You think the Steelers should be favored in this game?
I just think it's weird. Like the Bears have been losing all of these games at the end of the game. I don't even know how the Bears could cover. They're behind so much. I don't even know.
So were the Steelers. What are we talking about?
That's where they're the ones getting points. I don't know. Pat, I think I'm betting on the Pats. It's a little scary. Yeah, screw it. Let's just do these. Let's do these. I like it. I don't, but I hate it less than the other options. Seahawks, Ravens, Colts, Bears, Pats.
Sure.
0-5.
Cam Ward's going to throw like a 90-yard touchdown to Iowa to start the game.
Should we flip it?
Lucky lately.
Should we flip it?
No, don't flip it.
Jets.
One week this year, we need to do the we need to just fully flip it. The spatula.
Yeah.
The spatula week.
Spatula week. Okay. All right, today's Ringer 107 was brought to you by FanDuel. Odds subject to change.
Who's this guy you just texted us a photo of?
What? Oh, that's Harrison Mevis.
Oh, that. Oh, that's Harrison Mevis.
Obviously.
Harrison Mevis is such a funny name. That sounds like
Harrison
a 50s
Mevis. You know what's funny? He looks like a Harrison Mevis.
Harrison Mevis.
You show him his photo, be like, "What's that guy's name?" I'd be like, "That's Harrison."
Yeah,
Mevis.
yeah. There's a guy in my class named Harrison Mevis.
All right. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Ronak. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. Trivia questions, fantasy courts, fantasyfootball.theringer.com for our rankings. Update them Sunday mornings. Godspeed to Harrison Mevis. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Easy E.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. What was the origin there? Mevis?
I don't know. Just
Easy Mevis. The Wikipedia page for Harrison Mevis says that he is nicknamed the thicker kicker due to his beefy frame. That's the first line.
Like
The
no neck.
thicker kicker. Damn.
He'd like legitimately. I know the joke is like he looks like an accountant. This guy looks like an accountant. Complimentary.
There's actually a guy.
No,
a
it's
kicker.
not.
What?
When you tell an NFL player you look like an accountant, they're not like, thanks.
No, I know. I was joking.
Oh, okay. We didn't talk about how Belichick and Jordan Hudson was at like the her adult cheerleading contest, and Belichick was there. It's not actually under 17, but it's just a joke because he's 60 years older than her.
Right.
But did you see the photos of him?
He looks like he's having the best time ever.
And then
was.
I think Pablo Torre won some award this week, and then Jordan Hudson commented on it, was like, "You're welcome."
Yeah. The Jordan Hudson thing is like, I'm ready for that to be done. It was fun, and now I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
It's run its course.
Pablo Torre finds out was named one of the best shows and best podcast or best shows and best episodes of 2025 by Apple Podcasts. I want to put respect on his name.
We didn't make that list.
Well, they probably didn't hear the one where we tested all the fart or shard intros.
Yeah, that's BS.
I know that does kind of suck. I guess better like next year for us. We'll have to see. We probably have to submit for stuff like
We have
that.
to double down on the fart or shart stuff, I feel like.
Yeah. I think if there's
gotta
anything
really
we're
go
learning from
hard.
Pablo Torre winning for investigative journalism, that we need to double down on fart or shart.
I think you're right.
DK, what's your favorite Eazy-E song? Is it Boys in the Hood?
No more questions? It's a freaking banger. Look it up. It's really good.
Yeah.
Also, what's the other one? Yeah, Boys in the Hood is good. Do you remember that one band that did the cover of Boys in the Hood? That like in like really like acoustic, like almost like Beach Boys-y style. I can't remember.
Really? No.
Beach Boys in the Hood?
Not Beach Boys. I don't know what it was. It's just like
That would be
like
good, though.
like a white band that did a cover of.
Like recently or a while ago?
No, it was like in the aughts maybe. Hold on, let me look it up. Dynamite Hack. I think they were a one-hit wonder. But yeah, it was like, dude, it was all over the place for a while.
Have you guys seen those videos of these two guys who sing like 90s rap songs in like old 50s swing style? It's so funny.
I kind of like that.
The problem now with like viral things or stuff you want to tell your friends about is unless you physically or have it on your phone and you can send them the link, like I don't know these guys' name. They pop up in my algorithm.
So
I don't follow them. I'm like, I don't really know how to give them to you. I guess I could just Google like two guys singing rap songs.
Hold on. Let me,
From the
100%.
50s.
You sound so stupid when you try to. You can't even find the name of the
You
video.
ever try to like find a meme? It's impossible.
It's so hard.
oh, I do it all the time, Craig. It's like all I do.
That's all I do is search for memes. You're like, woman standing with her hands on her knees, squinting meme. It's just like hard. It's impossible.
You sound like an idiot. It's so true.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I could try to
Craig,
find this link.
Literally the other day, I was trying to find, the meme of the kid that's like going, like me? You know,
yeah,
who,
who's
me?
sitting on the couch. Me. Yeah. How do you find that?
Apparently, there's like there's so many memes of people saying "who me" kind of deal. Like I tried to find it. It took me like 10 minutes to find this fucking meme.
We need like Google for memes.
We should start an app. Craig, this is your app. We need a meme finder.
Yeah.
Someone's going to listen to this and create $1 billion company. and they're just going to be like, thanks. And we're never going to hear from them.
I know. Maybe we should cut this and start.
Should we cut this and start a meme company?
Meme. It's Google for memes. You'd think that one of these companies has tried that, like Google, and they can't figure it out.
Hold on. Does someone already have memes.ai? Yes, someone thought of that. Okay, next idea.
Damn it.
Actually, it's actually available.
Memes.ai?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, nope, it's taken. We could buy it for $100.
Anyway, I'm going to send you the video of those guys. They're like singing Migos, but it's like 50s doo-wop style. It's very good. I don't know how I'll find it, but I'll try.
What exactly are the? It's like, I'm gonna knock the pussy out like 5 nights. Like, what are they doing? Like
Craig, I did search 2 guys singing rap songs from the 1950s, and there was like a lot of TikToks that came up. TikToks came up, and it's very actually hard to see what their fucking name is, though. I clicked on a few of these.
Also, it's like half of those are reposts from not their accounts. It's like you don't even know how to find them still. The funniest one was Plug Walk. They did Plug Walk, and it was very funny.
Oh my God.
So this is Drewkey 5000.
I don't know.
I think that's the name of the TikTok account that keeps.
That might be them.
This one has fucking 3.9 million views.
I think that's them. I'm looking at their page. This is them.
Drewkey 5000.
Yeah, the one where they're standing in front of the CVS.
Yeah. Well, there's one I'm looking at here. They're standing in front of a Chili's.
Yeah, they always like just go. They're always doing parking lots. I think the one in front of the CVS is Plug Walk. It's actually very good. Their aesthetic is great too. They wear like Goodwill suits from the 90s. It's sick.
A little double-breasted action.
You know what's, yeah. You know what's hard about that type of content is like you make it blows up, and then everyone's like, just do those. And then you're like, okay. You do it for like a year. You have however many, you have millions of followers. And then it's kind of like, what else? Like, how do we turn this into a job that I can do for 30 years? And like, that's really difficult. You probably can't. But then you also don't want to stop because this is a money-making machine and people like it. And then you end up trying to like sign somewhere or do more or expand and it doesn't work. It's just a very weird time to get big on the internet for one niche thing.
Right.
Because there's so much stuff out there and everyone's like, no, I can get the other stuff from other people who do that stuff well. You just keep doing that.
Yeah. And then you have a contingent of people who are like, you already did this. Stop doing that.
Like there's a guy who got popular for, he would paint himself like a mime and then he would injure himself and try not to make a sound.
Craig, you showed me these.
And it was fucking hilarious. He would like step on a rake and it would hit him in the face and he'd just have to grit his way through it.
Oh, that hurt a little bit, but I'm okay.
And I was like, what is it? Like, what is this guy supposed to do? He's just getting more followers. Yeah. He's getting more money every time he does. And I'm like, is this just like when he's like going to his in-laws' house for Thanksgiving and they're like, what do you do? He's like, I make $400,000 a year hitting myself with a rake.
It's
what am I supposed to do?
Throwing wrenches at his shins.
What do I do now? Do I stop doing that? He like did the thing where you spin the scooter around and it hits him in the shin.
Oh, the razor scooter.
The razor scooter right into the shin, which is like the worst pain in the world. And I'm like, I don't know what you do. Do you stop doing that? You're getting paid a lot.
It's like Jackass. It's like silent Jackass.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's a tough world out there.
It is. It is.
Niche fandom is very bizarre because it was never a thing. That used to be like the local comedian or something who would just like do stand-up in a small town. But now it's like this guy across the nation, millions of people watch him hit himself with a razor scooter on the ankle. And what is he supposed to do?
Well, I mean,
keep doing it. Yes.
Harrison Mevis's grandchildren are going to be in some private school with the elite muckety mucks and be like, oh, what'd your dad do? Like, oh, he was an NFL kicker. What about you? It's like, yeah, my grandfather was a pain tycoon. He just would dress as a mime and just hit himself in the shins. And,
he
made his fortune.
Yeah, he dropped a bowling ball on his foot once a week.
My dad hit himself in the nuts for money on the internet.
I feel like that's been a thing for a while.
And that's going to be
forms.
What we say about the bands and the Rolling Stones in the 60s and be like, wow, they were first. And all the other generations like, damn, they could just hit themselves everywhere. No one had thought of it yet.
It's true.
Gonna have to invent new places to hate
and we'll get to
yourself.
tell our kids that, my dad invented fart or shart.
It's our claim.
When he's in
It's
public
our
school.
legacy.
Sitting right there. Goodbye, everyone. Must be 21 plus in present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus in present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.